What's up guys, welcome back to the Snap Change video car reviews. I'm Brandon and I've been spending the day with Leapmotor South Africa launching the new C10 REEV. So Leapmotor is a Chinese automotive company who has joined the Stellantis conglomerate. The C10 is a new energy vehicle, it's a hybrid powered vehicle and it's quite interesting because it is a REEV. What does REEV stand for? Range Extended Electric Vehicle.
The C10 REEV is powered solely by the electric motor, which powers the rear wheels with 158 kilowatts and 320 newton meters of torque. It's capable of launching from 0 to 100 in about 8.5 seconds. The 1.5-liter four-cylinder petrol engine works solely as a generator to recharge the 28.4 kilowatt-hour battery. It has a 50-liter fuel tank for a combined driving range of over 970 kilometers, with the fuel economy rated at 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. In terms of aesthetics, it's neatly designed, it has a modern appeal, it's bold and commanding on the road, and it has all the modern amenities. It has reverse parking sensors, reverse view camera, there's a funky button on the side that opens the electronic tailgate, big and spacious boot, nice and deep, and then on the interior it's also neatly designed. There's keyless entry with those pop-out door handles. This interior has been covered with a cream vibe, which is not my style. I would just go for the black. But it does show off the design features and how neat it is. Massive panoramic sunroof, faux leather seats that are electronically adjustable. They have heating and cooling capabilities. There's USB Type-C and USB Type-A connectivity, a 12-volt socket, wireless charging on top, the NFC key, and massive infotainment system screen, neat build quality. And then let's have a look at the rear bench. It's nice and spacious, decent legroom and headroom. The seats are very comfortable, they look very elegant as well. Nice and spacious. More USB Type-C and USB Type-A connectivity points. There are cup holders up here with air vents, so there are no cup holders in the center bit, which is quite cool. When three people are sitting there, you still have some cup holder space. So overall, very neat and elegant design.
Pricing of the C10 is quite interesting. The entry level model will cost you 759,900 Rand. And the top spec model, which is the model we had here at the launch and we were all driving, will cost you 799,000 Rand. Quite interesting, and there's a lot of rivals like the Cherry Tiggo 7 plug-in hybrid. There's the H6 GT plug-in hybrid. There's also the Motor C9 plug-in hybrid, but that's a lot more expensive. Unlike most hybrid vehicles that we are exposed to in South Africa, which is powered by a petrol motor and then supplemented with an electric motor, this one works the other way around. It mainly uses the electric motor, and then the petrol motor just acts as a generator, which a lot of people have been joking about with electric vehicles. They're like, oh, once you have an electric vehicle, you're gonna have to drive with a generator with you, poking jokes at our electricity troubles that we had in South Africa with Eskom and all of that. But now this vehicle is here and it has exactly what people have been joking about, which, as we all know, there are always some truth in jokes. I think it's quite a cool setup. This whole system is capable of giving you over 1,000 kilometers driving range. And that was just us driving on launch. We obviously been pushing the vehicle, testing the vehicle, pushing it to its limits, seeing how it reacts, how much power it has. So if you are driving a bit more consciously, I'm sure you could get like 1,200, maybe 1,100 kilometers driving range, which is very cool. But you'll obviously have to be driving consciously in good conditions. At the moment, I have 693 kilometers left with the generator, and 36 kilometers on electric charge. So that's quite cool. It's powered by a 25.5 kilowatt hour battery, which alone could give you, like, if I would just estimate in my head, it's probably like 120 kilometers driving range. But because this has that generator with it, the range is extended quite tremendously, and that's why it's been given that name, the REEV, the range extended vehicle. So I do think that it's an interesting vehicle. I like the design. I like how neat and tidy it looks. It also has a quite an elegant feel to it. It's neatly designed with the door handles that are nice and flush. They pop out when you pop it open. Keyless entry. And it has all the features that you can think of. On the exterior, what I like is that it's neatly designed, modern appeal, and it doesn't scream too much like I'm Chinese. It doesn't look too plasticky or too fake as many people like have come to know about these Chinese cars. I also think that a lot of people have been westernized. Those guys in the West have been doing a lot to keep the Chinese people out of business, but there is no stopping them now. They're in way too far, and these cars are very nicely designed and they actually have a good driving quality. Before I got into a Chinese vehicle, I always thought that the suspension would be funny and that it would just feel a bit flimsy, but that's not the case. Most of the complaints are with the throttle calibration and the braking calibration. But with this electric vehicle, there's no problem with the throttle calibration. The brakes are a bit sharp, but you quickly get used to that. And then on the inside, neatly designed multifunctional steering wheel with minimalistic buttons, controls. Most of the controls are inside the infotainment system, which is powered by a Snapdragon chip. So we're just on launch. There's not a lot of time to get into all of the features and all of the designs, but it's quite extensive. I'll go through some of this. Over here, it shows vehicle status. That gives you quite a bit of information on the trip that you're doing, how much electric you're using, how much petrol you're using, how much range you have left on the petrol side and then on the battery side. And it also gives you tire pressure and all of those good stuff. And then, how do I get to that other mode? How do I get to the driving mode? This partner will help me. Okay, then over here, in driving mode, it gives you 4 different driving modes. So you can drive on EV+, EV, fuel, and power mode. So those modes dictate the way which the car uses energy and how it recharges energy. In EV+, I think it will just use the electric motor, and then EV, it will use the electric motor, but will also be recharged when it needs to recharge using that generator. Fuel mode, it will use the generator as you're driving, and then in power mode, it will use both modes and power the vehicle as much as possible. Driving here, I'm sure you guys can hear a bit of wind noise, but we are doing the highway speed, so that is expected, and it's quite windy outside. The driving feeling feels very comfortable. I feel at ease in my driving position. It is electronically adjustable seats. They have heating and cooling capabilities. It also has automatic climate control, which does a decent job. I like the way the vents are hidden over here, and yeah, it's just a comfortable drive with loads of settings. The lane keep assist can be a bit irritating, but once you switch it off, it will go off, and that you'll do over here by ADAS. And inside here, there's quite a bit of safety features, and you can see you can also set the front collision warning to high, low, or standard, which I like. Lane keeping, put it off over there, yes. And then there's other things like emergency lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, door opening, warning, rear cross traffic alert, and rear collision warning. All these features are very helpful, and they do make things a lot safer for you. This car has a 5-star in-cab safety feature rating, which is quite commendable, especially in this day and age. They are very strict with that. Build quality, I like that it has this 2-tone design. The color on this interior is a bit much for me, but I would option for the black, especially if you have kids or if you're a bit messy like I am. Seats are very comfortable. Rear seats are very spacious, and because it's an electric vehicle, it has that flat bottom on the seat, so the passenger in the middle doesn't need to get irritated by that, the transmission trunk in the middle. There's also USB connectivity points at the back. There are there's cup holders at the back, but the cup holders are in the middle over here. I don't like that. But it is cool when you're seated with 3 people at the back, because normally if there's 3 people seated at the back, you won't get the leisure of folding down that center cup holder. Loads of boot space. It has electronic boot lid opening, which is a must on these higher end vehicles. And then coming to the price, 759,000 Rand for the entry level model, and then 799,000 Rand for the top spec model, which is the model we've been driving on launch. So just a little bit about Leapmotors. Leapmotors is a Chinese brand which focuses on electric mobility. So they have teamed up with Stellantis to bring us this vehicle. It's quite interesting. Stellantis has not been doing the best here in South Africa, although they are highly rated in the rest of the world. So I do think that this vehicle will shed some light on the Stellantis stable, and they are expecting to do quite a bit of sales. I think they mentioned about 40 units being sold a month across their dealership network. I'm not too sure of that. We'll see how time goes. What do you guys thought on this vehicle? The guys from Leapmotors also told us that there'll be a all-wheel drive, fully electric version of this car being launched soon, and then there's also the B10 being launched soon, which looks like a smaller vehicle to this. Also will be with the same powertrain. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning into the channel. I appreciate it. Please comment, subscribe, and give us some more information in the comment section if you have anything to add. I know that information is at our fingertips and we all have something to add about this vehicle, so I'll appreciate that. Peace, guys.